Hey everybody, welcome to Quick Chat. My name is Tyler, aka Akin, and today I got my two co-hosts with me.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Austin, aka Doltramar.
And my name's also Tyler, keeping it really confusing, aka Turbo.
Excellent. So today we got a really cool topic for you guys. We are going to discuss throwbacks, a little bit of retro gaming knowledge and what have you. Tyler's got a really good topic for us, and then we're gonna let Austin actually teach us all a bunch of stuff about retro games. Uh, that's really it, man. Tyler, you want to take us away?
Yeah, so it's not really a very far throwback, but Minecraft came out in 2009 on November 10th, and it's making waves again in the gaming community. It is number 6 on Twitch tracker, and just last week it was at number 8.
Oh, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah. But also, Minecraft's getting another update, 1.17. Their cliffs will be updated along with their caves, so I'm excited for that, especially because you and I are starting to do a playthrough.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's I want to do with the mods too, though. So, real quick, this is a casual gaming podcast. For people who have never heard of Minecraft and have no idea what it is, you can think of it in a couple different ways. It is those square blocks that just fit together nice and evenly, and you can make different things out of them if you want. There's also a game mode to play, a whole campaign, which is survival mode.
Yep.
Um, and that's really cool. In fact, I'm gonna bring up your image here. So this is what Minecraft looks like. And as Tyler was talking about, there are some mods and different plugins for the game. Ty, you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, I really think that the whole reason why Minecraft's making a comeback in the community again is just because there's so many mods out there. There's literally thousands and thousands of mods that can do anything between add extra blocks, weapons. They even have dragons in the game. You can do medieval times. You get a little bit of everything. And then with
And
the
basically, it's just
plugins,
building, right? Like so they're just changing like what it looks like, right?
yeah, it's anywhere between different resource packs, like changing what the blocks look like and everything like that, or just adding new blocks in general, where you're still keeping the original blocks and this mod is adding extra blocks to it so that you can create different things and really make what you're trying to build unique.
And I'd like to say the mods aren't even limited to that. Mods could be anything from, like you mentioned, like new blocks. They could add new characters, they could add new creatures to run into, new weapons or armor for you to have, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like a couple of the mods that I use, one of them adds different weapons and armor. It also adds dragons because you kill the dragons to be able to get dragon armor. But one of the main ones I really like using is a dungeon mod. It actually adds like a lookout tower, and you go down to the bottom of it, and it branches off into 4 different directions, and you just fight through all the mobs. And it's an easy way to earn extra loot.
Word.
So,
So on my screen here, I have brought up. This is at first I showed the original Minecraft, what it looks like. This is a texture pack mod that you're seeing on your screen now. And notice that things have a little more sharply defined edges, just HD quality graphics. But one reason why we wanted to talk about this was because we're going to be talking about some retro games tonight, and Minecraft is made with in a way that its theme overall is very much retro or throwback. It's very minimalist. It's very square and boxy, resembling that old pixelated type of feel, or not technically pixelated. Austin, don't murder me. Um,
No, that's
but
actually accurate in that case.
but I wanna compare that against a game that's been out at the same that was created at the same time. It's called Uncharted. Um, and so you can see that the graphics that we had at that time weren't that limited, but they made Minecraft with the idea that it could be made for everyone. So you could play it on a not great PC and have a decent experience, or you could play it on console when it came out for console, and then even mobile. Um,
exactly, you weren't limited on the hardware of your computer like you are with most of the games nowadays.
right. So that's a Minecraft, super kind of cool building simulator. A lot of people are playing Minecraft, have been playing Minecraft. It's now, Tyler said, at top 6 of streamed on Twitch, which is
Yeah.
cool. That is updated weekly, just so everybody knows. So last week it was 8, this week it's 6. But Tyler, I think that's cool for our segment. So Oz, why don't you teach us a little bit about retro games, some stuff that we might not know?
Sure. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was that people often will look at a lot of those pixelated styles of games and just slap a label to them like 8-bit or 16-bit or something to that effect, and that's not always an accurate description.
Okay, so how do you define? Because we throw around the word 8-bit all the time. How do you define that? What's the difference?
So it kind of depends on what we're talking about in particular. You could be talking about color limitations and like photo manipulation and things like that, where 8-bit would refer to like 256 maximum colors being able to be displayed, or 16-bit with the 65,536 colors being able to be displayed,
So,
being
so,
actual limitations of the original hardware, like they were
well,
limited to
so,
that
so,
much colors.
so hold on. When you say be displayed, like, do you mean like at one time you could only display 256 colors, or like was there a limit to that?
So with like current setups, you can use 8-bit color, and it would limit you to 256 colors. But if we're talking about things like the Nintendo Entertainment System, for example, then it's not so much like that, because that 256 colors is actually how many bits or how much data you can have stored, essentially. Um,
Okay.
and so you're not able to store 256 colors, because if you do that, that's all that there is available in that cartridge. So now you have a bunch of colors, and that's all the more you can display, and that's not a game.
It's just a bunch of colors.
Exactly.
Okay.
So generally speaking, with like the Nintendo Entertainment System, the sprite layer, which is what most of the things you could interact with on screen and usually your characters would be made of, this is gonna be a maximum of 12 colors that you're gonna have on screen at any given time, which is often why a lot of the characters in those games were very simple colored, maybe only had 2 or maybe 3 colors on them, because having more than that was detrimental. Because it meant that maybe your grass would not be green now, or your sky would have to be a different color than blue, which maybe is on purpose, but a lot of the times wasn't an intentional design choice.
That's actually super interesting. That's something I did not know.
It's also really interesting to think back, because if you ever did play any of those games on like the Nintendo Entertainment System, you might have remembered seeing probably more than 12 colors total on your screen at one point or another. And that's because when it would load into a new zone, it could swap your color palette. So sometimes your character may change colors, or enemies may change colors just a little bit to account for that change in palette. But now you've got a new environment to look at, and a lot of games have used that to try to give as much variety as possible.
That's interesting. So when you say like load into a new zone, do you mean like I'm Mario and I go through the castle and now it's you know it's the tall palm tree world type thing or whatever?
Yeah, so essentially, whenever you completely change screens, so in Mario, for example, finishing a level and going into the castle, going into a new level, you've loaded up like a new set of color and sprites and tile sets.
Okay.
Um, which is also something I could briefly talk about. So the graphics displayed on those consoles was done through what they called tiles, which was just an 8 by 8 or 16 by 16 or more, depending on what console you're talking about.
Sure.
8 by 8 for like an 8-bit console, like a Nintendo Entertainment System, and you were limited to like that setup for your graphics as well. So you would have these tiles set on screen, and you could do all kinds of tricks with them in memory, like flipping them or recoloring them to get the most out of a small amount of data. For example, in Mario 1, the bushes have eyes and the clouds have eyes, and they're the exact same sprite with just a different color.
So do you have an example of like the tile that you can send us?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Yeah, no worries. But now I think it's kind of cool. Like there's there's a whole lot that actually goes on with retro games still, and people may not know this, but um, we've talked about games done quick on this channel before. They feature many, many, many speed runs, and it would be boring to watch the same four things over and over. So there's a constant variety. A lot of what they play are old retro games. And it's not my personal favorite. Like, it's not my personal choice for like what I want to go play with my 1 hour of playtime on the weekend or whatever the heck it is, right? Like, I may want to choose a game that I've been looking forward to or a game that's newer or whatever. But I think it's still good to have a handle on what you're doing, like where you came from, why games look the way they do, why we've moved to this set of color schemes like we talked about. And I see that you have this right here. So I'm going to pull this up for everybody in chat real quick.
So that's not anything super specific or fancy. It's just kind of an 8-bit tile set that I found online.
Hey man, I just wanted something to illustrate the point of what you were talking about.
Credits to Numoku on Reddit for these tile sets.
Nice. Thank you, Nimoku on Reddit.
Yes.
So go ahead.
One of the other things that I did want to talk about really briefly is
Mhm.
that a lot of the quote unquote like more advanced games on PC in like the early 90s and a lot of games like the PlayStation 1 used a special technique called dithering, which is a really neat little thing that was a great way to fake extra color depth without being able to display any more. And essentially, all that is if you know what pointillism is, it's sort of similar to using that
Yeah.
kind of effect to change, or like trick your brain into thinking there's more than the amount of colors showing on screen by giving it more blending and depth. Plenty of games, like I said, on the PS1 and like early 90 PC games use this to great effect.
So, I mean, essentially, sorry, I'm having a hard time bringing up this tile sets image. It did not want to pull up. There we go. Ah, I see. I'll just take them to Google. It's fine.
Just struggling tonight.
Hey, man, it's okay. Nobody expected us to be perfect, man.
So here we go. I just posted a picture so you can kind of see the dithering. It's that weird, almost triangular looking like mesh of color changing on the tiles. They use that in order to try to trick your brain into thinking there's more color or just more things going on in general. And it added a lot of depth, and it made it look like there was more color or lighting effects than there actually was.
So they just like threw stuff around the screen?
Yeah, it's
Like,
really weird, but like you can see it best at the bottom of that stool there. How there's multiple rings of different color that kind of jut out.
yeah, hold on. I'll see if I can
Black,
pull this
green,
up
and
for
red.
everybody. Yeah, here, I can pull this one up. Here we go. So this is what he's talking about. So, make this image a little bit bigger.
And obviously, the
So,
closer in you get in, you can see more and more. Because you're supposed to really look at only like a few pixels at a time to really kind of notice the effect, just in small blocks.
for
If you
sure.
get real close, you can see this almost diamond kind of like.
Yeah,
coat
that's
over
the
it.
first thing that threw me off is like the diamonds. It looks like they just threw a bunch of like it looks like they made the graphics and then just threw stuff at it and we're like, yeah, it looks like it's behind it, so it adds depth of field.
That's pretty much exactly what they were going for with that. I think it's a really neat way to kind of get around some of the restrictions and limitations they had.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It's great. So, let me just get a couple things right here. So, Tyler, we talk about Minecraft as a throwback. That's what this segment's about, Throwback Thursday. Retro games, throwback games. How long have you been playing Minecraft for? Like, did you start playing when it came out?
I started playing that whenever it started coming out. I played for probably about 2 years, and then I quit until the 1.12 update, whenever they added a bunch of extra stuff to it. Played for probably a year, and then I haven't touched it since. And that was probably about 4 years ago.
Okay. Austin, you played quite a bit of Minecraft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I actually bought it back just before it swapped over from the late alpha to the early beta.
Okay.
And
Dang.
I put quite a lot of time into it immediately after that, like that year and a half following, and then I kind of just fell off. And then they added so many updates that I couldn't even begin to tell you what everything is.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
that's crazy.
It's wild. This is like I've built some random stuff in Minecraft a couple times, but Austin, you should join, but you were like, I've had enough Minecraft, no thank you. But I'll put you on blast right there.
I
But
might hop in, especially now that I've been called out.
Tyler and I, TNT, we started a playthrough on my Twitch channel. So this is my first like actual time like going through the campaign, trying to beat the game, and it is difficult when you have no idea what you're doing. This game's got a learning curve, man. Like, there's some stuff that's like made easy. Like, you can look at your, like, what do they call it, like recipes or something. But basically, for like you and I and the casual viewer, like you need to make stuff to advance in the game. So they have like a little book where it like pretty much tells you how to make it. You just like
Yeah,
click on
but you're
that.
lucky because that was in one of the updates. Before that, you had to like Google it.
Oh, see, yeah, no, not down with that. That's too much effort. I mean, maybe on my phone.
I
Um,
used to play Warcraft, and I had to look up everything on Thoughtbot. You'll get over it.
yeah,
Same.
I looked up a lot of stuff on RuneScape, man. RuneScape is like MMORPG. Old school RuneScape still has that kind of retro feel.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
so that's a game I got a couple K hours in. For sure, got a few 99s. That's max skills. But that's not the topic for today. Um, lead us out with something, Austin. Like, what's something that you love about retro games? Like, why do you want people to know more about them?
Well, ultimately, I think there's a lot of really good gems that were hidden away, and I don't think that time really kind of takes away from that aspect.
Hmm.
I think if you had a really solid idea and you made a game that was worth playing, it doesn't matter whether it was 30 years ago or 3 minutes ago. It should get attention at least a little bit.
For sure, for sure. Uh, I propose that the next time we do this, we should do this on stream, and I want to actually play a retro game. I want
Yeah,
to
I'm down with that.
pick something cool, and we'll all try to play it. Maybe try to speed run it. Just see how fast we like. See if we can beat each other. Have a little local race. Austin be doing tech that we don't know about.
You'll definitely beat me.
Oh, same, dude. I'm Garbo. But yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for us tonight. That's pretty much that's pretty much what we got for you guys today. So I want to lead out with this. If you like this content, if you're curious about getting into gaming, or you're very casual but you like a little more information, if you like the way that we're presenting the content, let us know, man. Talk to us in the comments. Like, subscribe. All those metrics really do help us, but nothing helps us more than the support. So if you see us on Twitter, you see us on stream, say what's up, man. Um, I love talking. It's why I wanted to start a podcast. I'll talk with you all day. Um, I'm Tyler, aka Akin. That's all I got tonight.
Hey, thank everybody for showing up and taking a little while to listen to us.
Absolutely. Catch you on the next one.